you can also refer to our Telegram group. So for the conclusion stage, for the page that you are going to create, is to create that one, to create the conclusion page for your script. The purpose of this step is that it ties everything together. You have your argument, opinion, you have your recommendation, blah 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 blah, and then you have your conclusion to tie everything together. When you can conclude well, the better you conclude, the better you are demonstrating that you can summarize your arguments clearly, right? This is a very important skill, to be able to summarize your argument clearly, because some people can argue, but in the end they cannot conclude, they cannot summarize, because they don't actually understand what they are saying. So that's very important, to be able to conclude and to tie everything together well. And for your information, if you can conclude well, then it will give a lasting impression, whereby people will remember whatever you say for a very long time, because you could conclude well. Alright, when you do this, you need to pay attention to word length. Number one, word length, 80 to 100 words, not as long as the other sections, because this is just the conclusion. 80 to 100 words, which include a short summary of the main point. The short summary should consist of background, from the background to the opinion to the cause and effect to the recommendation. So you put everything together and then you summarize. Remember the paraphrasing exercise that we did? Same strategy that we use. And then you got to pay attention to ending it with a strong and final thought. You can give a quote, you can give a slogan, but end it with a strong final thought. And also remember, do not forget that you must put a closing visual, alright, either a chart or whatever, a poster, whatever, so that it helps the reader to understand better. What to avoid, what not to do. Do not repeat the entire sentences from the earlier pages. Do not go and copy paste from the other sections. And then, but the conclusion, do not add new points. New points should be in the previous section, not in the conclusion, alright? And also your conclusion must be strong. Do not end with a weak sentence like that is all. No, have a proper conclusion, right? End it properly. Alright, let's talk about the step by step on how to do it. When you want to start the conclusion part, you begin with a sentence that signals the end. For example, conclusion, to sum it up, to wrap up. Alright? So that is how you start, that is how you begin your conclusion. Next, in your conclusion, you should summarize the key arguments briefly. Mention the key argument, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mention the key arguments, alright? And then number 3, you should write a final statement that is memorable, that is powerful. The more powerful your final statement, the better it is. Why? Because you are nailing the final nail in the coffin, alright? You want to make sure that people cannot re-argue, people cannot counter-argue what you are saying. And lastly, just like all the other sections, you must have a closing visual, a chart or whatever. Because this is a scrapbook, not an essay. Because a scrapbook, you need to have all those closing, all those accompanying visuals, alright? So what do I expect from you? What do I expect from you? Your conclusion write-up should be 80 to 100 words. What I expect from you is that you should have a clear summary of the key points. What I should expect from you is that you have a strong final statement or quote or slogan. What do I expect from you is that your closing visual must be there. Okay? You can refer to our Telegram group for more information, and you can ask questions in the comment section so that I can reply to your questions. Thank you.